Chapter 1: The Prison Walls. The camera pans across the crumbling facade of Crestview Penitentiary, its gray walls steeped in stories of hope extinguished and dreams deferred. Inside, the echo of metal doors clanging shut punctuates the chilling silence, a grim reminder of confinement. Inmates shuffle through the corridors, their worn shoes scuffing against cold concrete, the muffled sounds of whispered conversations blending into a haunting symphony of despair. As a former inmate turned journalist, I walk these halls with a heavy heart and a keen insight into what lies beneath the surface. I've felt the oppressive weight of these walls, but I've also witnessed the flickers of resilience within these souls. In this decaying institution, the seeds of redemption take root, waiting for the right conditions to flourish. Here, amidst the harsh realities, the power of words offers a glimmer of hope, a chance to express, to heal, and to reclaim their lives. Chapter 2: An Unexpected Opportunity. Amidst the clamor of metal doors and distant shouts, a whisper of hope emerges within the prison walls. A newly established writing program. The inmates gather in a bleak classroom, a stark contrast to their usual surroundings. Initial reactions are mixed. Skepticism and curiosity ripple through the group. Some inmates nod in silent agreement, while others fidget, unsure of what expressing their thoughts might entail. As the program is introduced, the inmates are informed that writing could serve as a powerful outlet, a means to articulate their fears, dreams, and regrets. Each character's background begins to unfold, giving glimpses of their lives before incarceration. Marcus recalls the exhilaration of sketching. Elena battles her shame. James reflects on his long years behind bars, while Sophia, Liam, and Ravi listen intently. Together, they stand on the precipice of a transformative journey, ready to explore the healing power of their own voices. Chapter 3: Marcus Sketches of Loss. In the dim light of his cell, Marcus unravels the complexities of his past through the strokes of his pencil. Once a promising artist with dreams that danced on canvases, he now sketches the stark realities of prison life: concrete walls, cold bars, and fractured spirits. His diary is a refuge, a chronicle of loss that weighs heavily on his heart. Each entry reflects his yearning for forgiveness, both from himself and his estranged family. As Marcus writes about his childhood and the art that once brought him joy, he confronts the guilt of choices made out of desperation. His sketches evolve into vivid representations of hope: birds in flight, vibrant sunsets, symbols of freedom that feel just beyond his grasp. In sharing his struggles with creativity and identity, Marcus begins to understand that art may still be his pathway to redemption, igniting a flicker of hope amidst the shadows of despair. Chapter 4: Elena's Journey to Freedom. Elena sits in her cramped cell, surrounded by faded posters of the world outside. Her diary, filled with ink-stained confessions, becomes her lifeline, a raw, candid reflection of her struggle with addiction and the remnants of her former life as a dedicated school teacher. In her entries, she recounts the early mornings filled with promise, nourishing young minds, before her descent into the darkness of drugs took over. She writes of the pain caused to her family, the lost friends, and the dreams that felt shattered beyond repair. Yet within the sorrow, Elena discovers glimmers of hope. Each stroke of her pen is an act of reclamation, a pledge to regain control of her narrative. She dreams of sobriety and returning to the classroom, committed to helping others avoid her fate. The power of her words sparks inspiration not only within herself, but also among her fellow inmates, igniting a collective yearning for redemption. Chapter 5: James, Lessons from the Life Sentence. James sat against the cold concrete wall of his cell, a weathered journal resting on his lap. In his entries, he pondered the weight of his actions, recounting the defining moments that led him to a life sentence. "Justice," he wrote, "isn't always blind. It can be a reflection of our deepest regrets." As a mentor within the prison community, James shared his philosophical insights with younger inmates, encouraging them to confront their pasts rather than evade them. His reflections explored the nature of humanity, emphasizing that redemption begins with self-forgiveness. "In this place of despair," he noted, "I've learned that hope is resilient, and even behind these walls we can rebuild our identities." His writings resonated with a longing to connect, reminding others that every life has a story worth telling. Through his words, James became a beacon of hope, illuminating paths of change for those around him. Chapter 6. Sophia, Love and Regret. Sophia's diary entries are a poignant window into her tumultuous life. In stark contrast to her youthful dreams, prison walls now bind her after a crime of passion, an act born from desperation and betrayal. As she pours her heart onto the pages, her words oscillate between a haunting regret and an intense longing for connection. I often reminisce about the nights under the stars, the laughter that warmed my soul, she writes, her emotions surfacing like waves crashing against the rocky shores of her conscience. Through her reflections, Sophia reveals the fragility of trust and the complexities of love, detailing the choices that spiraled into her current reality. Yet, amid the sorrow, she nurtures a flicker of hope for redemption, contemplating what it would feel like to reclaim her life and find peace. Her entries not only capture the pain of her past, but also ignite a yearning for the freedom that feels perpetually out of reach. Chapter 7. Liam breaking the cycle. Liam's journey from gang life to prison advocacy is a testament to resilience. In his diary entries, he candidly recounts his tumultuous past, marked by violence and poor choices, yet suffused with a yearning to break free from the patterns that ensnared him. Through the ink on his pages, he reflects on the lives of the youth he once influenced, wishing he had steered them towards hope instead of despair. Each name I remember feels like a weight on my heart, he writes, grappling with guilt and a desire for redemption. Liam's writings reveal his commitment to mentorship, striving to guide younger inmates away from the dangerous paths he traveled. As he shares stories of his own transformation, the echoes of laughter and pain intertwine in his words. He embodies the belief that change is possible. It's never too late to rewrite your story. Liam stands as a beacon of hope, inspiring those around him to envision brighter futures. Chapter 8. Finding Belonging. Ravi's journey begins with the weight of cultural expectations and the harsh reality of life in prison. A 30-year-old immigrant, he reflects on his arrival in the United States, filled with dreams of opportunity, only to find himself entangled in a system that often feels alien. In his diary, he writes about the duality of his identity, caught between the traditions of his homeland and the harsh demands of life within prison walls. Each entry unveils his struggles with isolation, where language barriers and cultural misunderstandings deepen his sense of loneliness. Yet amid these challenges, Ravi's yearning for acceptance becomes a source of resilience. He often pens letters to his family, expressing hope for reconciliation and a brighter future. Through storytelling, Ravi seeks to redefine his narrative, transforming his pain into powerful reflections on belonging, identity, and the unyielding hope that anchors him amidst despair. Chapter 9. The Power of Storytelling. As the writing program progresses, the atmosphere within the prison begins to shift. Inmates gather in small groups, their initial hesitance melting into a shared warmth as they exchange diary entries. Laughter and tears intertwine, creating an unexpected camaraderie among them. Marcus shares his sketches, bringing his words to life, while Elena's poignant reflections resonate deeply, sparking conversations about healing and hope. As James steps in as a guide, he encourages them to voice their regrets and dreams, fundamentally creating a safe space for vulnerability. Liam, inspired by their stories, shares anecdotes from his past, weaving lessons learned into his narratives. Sophia and Ravi, too, find their voices, revealing raw truths that foster acceptance and understanding. Each session fosters deeper connections, transforming mere words into a lifeline. Through storytelling, these men and women not only confront their inner demons, but also sow the seeds of resilience and possibility, igniting a collective desire for redemption. Chapter 10. Darker Days. As the weeks pass, the harsh realities of prison life weigh heavily on the inmates. Tensions escalate. The ever-present atmosphere of fear and hopelessness threatens to overshadow their newfound sense of purpose. Marcus grapples with a wave of despair, his sketches turning dark as feelings of isolation envelop him. Elena faces another crossroads as the lure of her past addiction emerges, testing her fragile resolve. In the yard, a violent altercation breaks out, serving as a stark reminder of the perilous environment they navigate every day. As the chaos unfolds, James steps in, attempting to mediate and reconcile tensions, drawing on his experience as a mentor. Amidst the turmoil, each inmate's emotional struggles come to the surface. But as they lean on one another for support, they begin to realize the strength of community can counterbalance the darkness. The shadows of their pasts loom large, but through connection, they find flickers of hope amid the despair. Chapter 11. Turning Points. As the days pass in the prison, each inmate begins to experience personal breakthroughs that ignite flickers of hope within their hearts. Marcus completes his first mural, a vibrant piece depicting an imagined world outside the prison walls, representing his dreams of freedom and creativity. Alina receives her GED certificate, a moment of pride that reignites her aspirations of becoming a teacher again. James, long entrenched in the shadows of his past, confronts painful memories during a group discussion, finding clarity and a path to forgiveness. Sophia starts to rebuild relationships through letters, discovering healing in vulnerability, and Liam redefines his purpose as a mentor, guiding younger inmates through their struggles. Ravi's journey towards acceptance culminates in him sharing his cultural background with others, fostering a sense of community. These milestones, although small, become powerful turning points, embodying the resilience of the human spirit as they collectively grasp at the threads of redemption. Chapter 12. Writing as Therapy. As the days pass, the inmates begin to realize the profound impact of their writing on their emotional well-being. Marcus writes of the catharsis he feels when putting pencil to paper, each stroke releasing pent-up sorrow and regret. Elena shares how her diary becomes a refuge, a place where she can confront her addiction without judgment. The sound of pages turning fills the small writing room as Liam facilitates discussions on coping strategies, emphasizing the importance of expressing one's feelings. Sophia reflects on her entries as a means to navigate her tumultuous emotions, while Ravi discovers that storytelling offers a sense of belonging, bridging the gap between his past and present. In these shared moments, each inmate acknowledges the healing power of words. They learn that writing is not merely a task. It is a lifeline, a toolbox for forging resilience amid the harsh realities of their confinement. Chapter 13. Open Reading Preparation. As the day of the open reading approaches, a mix of nerves and excitement fills the air within the prison walls. The inmates gather in the small common room, their diaries open, ready to rehearse their pieces amidst a palpable tension. Marcus fidgets with his sketchbook, heart racing as he prepares to share his art-infused reflections. Elena wipes her palms against her pants, anxiety swirling as she contemplates the vulnerability of her story. James, with his calm demeanor, encourages the others, reminding them of the power their words hold. Sophia practices her piece softly, her voice trembling as she confronts her past with each line. Liam and Ravi share a moment of camaraderie, discussing how their narratives intertwine with newfound hope. In this supportive environment, past traumas surface, but so do their resilience and determination, as each inmate takes a step closer to reclaiming their voice. Together, they are not just sharing stories, they are writing the first chapters of their redemption.